always had a fast 50, always, no matter what my training's been. I'm going to speak into my camera for 10 minutes. I'm going to talk about my goals. I'm talking about some good things that happened today. 6 years later, I have hundreds of them. Something I'm actively trying to overcome is determining where that line is so I can say, I'm doing this for myself, and I know that for a fact, which is hard.
We're good. Thank you, Reagan. All right, Drew Kibler. Drew is let me go through all your accolades, your list of accolades. Drew was the National High School Swimmer of the Year back in 2018. First high schooler to break 133 in the 200-yard free. 2 times individual NAG record holder. 21-time NC2A All-American. 6-time NC2A champion. Multiple American NC2A and U.S. Open records with Texas. 2-time Big 12 Men's Swimmer of the Year. 13-time Big 12 champion. 2-time Olympian. 2024 Paris Olympic silver medalist in the 4x2 free relay. And you have a bunch of other medals, World Aquatics medals, 6 of them, 2 gold, 2 silver, 2 bronze across the World Championships and World Short Course Championships. And then there's a whole bunch of other ones, but I got lazy, so I didn't write them out.
It's all good.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So we have a tradition on this podcast where the guest of the previous episode leaves a question for the future guest, not knowing who it's going to be. Did you listen to the last one?
Who was the last one?
It was Bria. Yeah, it was Bria.
I've not listened to that one yet.
Okay, so Bria was asking, what is the most vulnerable difficulty you've had to overcome?
Oh my gosh. Successfully overcame or like in the act of overcoming? This is a big question. Actually, I don't want to be, strictly swimming on this. And I think that you and I both want to.
That's boring.
Yeah, but a big part of why I'm swimming again is part of a vulnerable challenge I'm overcoming. And I think that it's that I haven't been super aware of where my desires stop and my focus on what other people's perceived desires for me start. And
it's very blended.
Yeah.
It's gray.
Yeah, because I don't want to say people pleaser, but I'm very aware of what people project.
Yes.
And I'm very aware and excited by other people's excitement for me.
Yeah.
And so there have been many times where I think when I first started swimming with you on day one, you're like, what are your goals? And I was very hesitant at first because like I want to be very clear on what I want out of this. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting more comfortable every day getting there. But something I'm actively trying to overcome is determining where that line is so I can say I'm doing this for myself and I know that for a fact, which is hard, I think.
Do you know where that line is or not yet?
Oh man, not yet. Because there's just so many things I like in my life. Swimming is just one small part of my life. I'm kind of navigating this with swimming as a big part of it, but I think it's so different with so many things. I think that oh man, this is a tough one.
How about for swimming? Like you're swimming right now.
Yeah,
that's gotta be for you.
Oh yeah, yes, 100%. Yeah, it is for me.
Or are you trying to figure out? Is it subconsciously I'm swimming to please somebody?
It's certainly
because people get hyped for you and you're wanting to people please.
Yeah, I think the very act of stepping back was sort of an act of, for me, it felt like defiance because people were getting more and more excited for me. There was a lot of talk with everybody around me about what the 2025 season was going to look like. Mm-hmm. And I was hearing this even before Olympic trials in 24, knowing I'm not going to do this because you guys are jumping the gun. For me. And I don't blame anybody for that at all. Like, I think it's awesome to get excited. I know you get excited for all of your athletes. And I think that was not a someone else problem. That was a me problem. That was a me thinking, what if I'm not good enough for these expectations? Like, what if I'm just doing this because I think that I'll get satisfaction if I please whoever these external expectations. Yeah. So that's something that's been really hard, but really fun to navigate. Because when I do something for me, when I'm out in this weight room, doing an ISO and just like going my mind's blank. And I'm like, there's no one telling me to pull this hard. I'm fully doing this for myself. Like that is a moment like there was an ISO where I almost got emotional out there. Like
Really?
a few weeks ago. Yeah. Like pulling so hard, but like,
You're like crying.
I want this. Yeah. And it was also pretty painful too. But yeah, like I think this is a pretty vulnerable thing I'm working through currently.
When you say external expectations, can you boil it down to one or two people, or is it really like
Of who's placing those on me.
yeah, like can you like, because usually when people say, I talked about this with, I think it was Bria. We talked about like people set all these expectations on us, but when you really think about who it is, it's like your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, or your former boss.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
you can, when you really dive deep into it, you got to kind of like sit down and really think about it. Like, where are these emotions coming from?
Yeah.
You can boil it down to like, can you do that? You don't have to say who, but
Yes, I can. I've been actively doing it. Working really, being very intent, like in giving a lot of intent and patience with myself, with Erin, my fiance, and just like really just like reflecting on, my whole, I think, journey. And that's been really cathartic, extremely. So
what does cathartic mean?
like an intensely emotional overcoming feeling and a release. We might fact check that, but like I maybe that's, I don't know if that's the dictionary definition of it, but that's how I understand it to be.
Can you pull it up?
Catharsis is like a deep emotional release. I'm like 90% sure.
An experience, action, or art that provides a deep emotional release.
Okay.
Wow.
That was pretty close.
So that was the ISO for you.
It will, I mean, yeah, that's a huge emotional release, just to push against something won't move as hard as you can and keep pushing harder. I mean, it's kind of cool. But I can boil it down, and being aware of it, and it hasn't been one person or two people. It's an evolving list, I would say, and it's usually whoever I'm most closely like working alongside in a given moment. So obviously coaches are a big part of that. And it's never ill intentions at all. It's usually it's excitement, because I think that I have a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I think I work really hard. I think I'm coachable, and I undeniably I do have talent as well. And I think people see that and get excited, which I don't blame them. But like for myself, working on confidence, it's like, I don't know if I have the excitement for myself yet, so I'm going to do this for your excitement. I'm catching up. I'm constantly playing catch up with like my own belief in myself.
Where are you now? Are you doing this for you or for me?
Oh my gosh, no, I'm doing this for me.
Great.
I'm really doing this for me. I've been having some moments lately where I just feel like so intense, like, and I'm just speaking with Erin, and like I just feel like, and I don't even know what the end goal is truly. And I think that some of my best experiences in the sport have been where the end goal was hazy and it was more about an experience of like, what can I do? How deep can I dig? And yeah, like lately
Was that the 145.0 at Budapest?
Oh my gosh. Well, that was a big part. That was a experience for me that I've been chasing. There's a few experiences over the past 10 years that I've been like chasing. And something interesting about that was I had COVID. I was isolated just 3 days before that race. I was isolated in Croatia by myself with COVID. And then miraculously, I got a negative test, was driven via this random driver from Croatia to Hungary, and then showed up the day before. And 2 days after that, I was racing, and I went to 145.0.
So you weren't swimming when you were in quarantine?
I was totally isolated. Like I was at the pool because everybody else had left.
Yourself, got it. Okay.
Everybody else had left. I was getting room service in a hotel. I was totally isolated except for, this pool, which is an outdoor pool that I was separated in. But, I remember Natalie Hines was like, "Drew, are you nervous? This is your first international individual final." I go, "No." She's like, "You're just saying that." I'm like, "I'm actually not. Like, I don't really care." And I did care, but like, she's like, "You're just saying that to like," I'm like, "I mean, I just had COVID. Like, I'm just going to rip it. I'm going to just hang on with Tom Dean and see what I can do." And it was a really cool moment of just digging deep, because I was like, nobody else thought I was going to do well. And I love that doubt.
Yeah.
I love the doubt, because that's when it becomes for me. If people are like, "You can do anything you set your mind to, like, just, this is awesome. You can go for this, Drew." Like, I'm like, okay, whatever. But then when someone's like, I wouldn't do this if I were you. I got in a fight with one of the coaches over the phone because he pulled me off a relay. I'm like, you don't know me. Like, you don't understand what I'm capable of when I'm sick. Because illness has been like kind of a recurring thing for me. It happens at the worst times. And it was a rare moment where I was fighting for myself. Like, I wanted to swim. I wanted to do something. I wanted to show up. And it was very clearly for me because it was not in anybody else's, like, I guess, understanding of me at that point.
Okay, so I'm trying to deconstruct the insides of your mind. I'm trying to
same always.
Well, because like I think part of a coach's job is to deconstruct what makes an athlete swim. Like, what state do you have to put them in to make sure that they swim the best? So to me, it sounds like when you're swimming for yourself, you have no expectations, and you're enjoying what you're doing. That's kind of when you swim the best.
I mean, the enjoyment part isn't even, I don't know. That's something completely separate, I would say.
Okay.
I love swimming, but also I think swimming is just a vessel for the deeper experience. I think swimming is just, it happens to be where I get to exert.
The physical talents just happen to be, just happen, like it could have been tennis.
If I happen to be naturally gifted at tennis and that was something where I had potential to win, not always win, not like, I'm not saying I'm like, I don't think I'm the most gifted swimmer, like by any means, but I have a unique mix where my efforts can bring me close to like exertion, hard work equals result.
Wait, so going back,
Yeah.
what state are you in when you swim the fastest?
When people are doubting me, like when people have an opinion where it's flipped and my personal belief actually happens to exceed what people are saying. So part of like, I think coming back is I'm sure there's going to be like what is this guy doing? I never wanted to be the guy that was hanging on. And now I think that there's probably in people's minds like,
this guy needs to hang it up.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I love it.
Oh, we need Swim Swam to write some articles.
Oh,
about
I
you.
love it. Yeah. Like the negative, I truly do. Cause it gives me this feeling like, I just can be like, who do you think you are to doubt me?
Yeah.
And like, that's a confidence that only comes out when I'm doubted. If people are like, you can do anything, you're going to win the Olympic gold. I like Bob would say, the way that set just went, I think you can go 143. I shrink. Or at least that version of me. I don't know this road I'm on, but like if he said, I think you can go 143 after this set, that's where your mind needs to be. I shrink.
So before a race, do I need to be like, hey, Drew, you ain't shit, dog?
I mean, honestly, I've had similar things happen. And when that happens, it feels good. I'm like, okay, Sean. All right. You can think that. How about you just go, let me show you.
It's a weird position to be as a coach, though, because it's like you want to make sure that I'm instilling confidence in you, but at the same time, like I know that maybe I need to tell Calvin to go tell you to talk shit to you.
Well, yes. My best times here by far so far have been when I was racing Calvin, because I've built up Calvin to be the man to beat for a number of reasons, just because I respect him a lot for taking the risk to build this with you. And obviously he was the guinea pig. He was like patient zero along with, yeah. And, he was like patient zero, and also taking it from 23.5 to 21.9. Like it's working too. Yeah. And so I have so much respect for that.
I give Calvin a lot of credit. Like I'm a nobody. I think I'm still a nobody, and like he trusted this strength coach to like coach him. I was like, what the heck?
I think and I'm sure we'll get into this at some point, but I think the fact that I don't think you're a nobody, but I do think that your relative lack of experience in this world is an absolute blessing and like a real superpower for you. And that's something that I'm that combined with your natural personality is what I'm really fascinated by. And also really looking forward to, getting to know you more and work with you more. When I'm pursuing Calvin, I get to like,
sorry,
what?
Just the way you said when I'm pursuing Calvin.
When I'm like, potential. Yeah. When I'm like when I see him, I'm like, okay, like I'm going to create this doubt, like where I'm going to imagine that you're thinking, okay, well, Drew's not gonna beat Calvin here, but if he's close, that'd be great. Like I'm gonna manufacture that in my head.
You do that,
yeah. And like I had an effort last week that was significantly better than the rest because you were working on Santi's dives, And you're like, get him, Santi. And he goes, I'm gonna wreck him or something like that. He just like, he said something like, I'm gonna beat him right here. And I was just like, no, you're not. You're just not. And love Santi, love all y'all. But like, if that, like, I feel that opposition, when I feel an opposition, I firm up. Like, I'm like, I will press back way harder.
Wow. I never knew that. Unless you told me that, I would have never known that.
Does it seem different?
It seems different.
You think
you're like, you're a high empathy, kind person that like, it's almost like, not that you don't see, now I'm doubting you, which might be a good thing. Like, because you're such a nice person, it's almost like it's hard to see that dog in you. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Caleb. Caleb's kind of the same way. He like, when you're with him, like just chilling, super nice guy. But then when he gets up on the blocks, he becomes a dog, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe you're very similar in that regard. And I just haven't seen that side of you.
Yeah. I
It's
think
been too early.
Yeah. I'm building that relationship with that dog. And not being afraid of it and owning it and being proud of it. I think there's been times where maybe me being a nice guy, like I like that because I know that other people like that, and I kind of dull the aggressiveness that I know is constantly chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
And it switches on so fast. I just need to not let that ever get dulled.
No, never.
Especially
that's your edge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from? Is it childhood? Is it
Yes.
upbringing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Relationship with your parents?
Yeah. Like my parents were, they were never like the type of parents to say like, that wasn't good enough, Drew. Or like, you have to do this, you have to swim. But it was always like, was that your hardest? And if I like said like, no, I could have gone harder, but I was just like messing around. It's like, don't ever get less than your hardest, ever. And I feel like for some reason I really latch on to things, and I take things like deeply literally. At least I did as a kid.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of trust in my parents. I have a lot of trust in my parents that like, when they told me something, it was the truth. And so like, I'm sure on some level when it was like, if you have something to give, you must give it. I internalized that very deeply. And like, I remember like being a 10-year-old, like racing my friends, but like, and I was a big 10-year-old, so I had a little bit more, and saying like, oh yeah, like I'm just like letting him win something. And they're like, why wouldn't you, give your best? I'm like, oh, I have to like give my best always and push that. And so I've developed a really, I think, interesting belief in what happens when I give my best. I think it's borderline delusional, like the depth to which I can dig for more. I believe I can like do anything, and I'll like die believing that.
Yeah.
And it'll just be like, well, it just didn't happen yet. Which is a gift and a curse. But
Yeah, I've noticed that about you.
really,
Yeah.
how so?
Like, we went from, I'm just going to come to practice on a Saturday just to have fun. We'll see what it's like. And then you came to another one.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe by the third one, you're like all in. And I was like, what the hell happened to this guy? He went from like, I'm just going to come and try it, to by the third practice, maybe it was third or fourth, we're like talking about technique and like where your hand position is. And I was like, wait, I thought we were just like having fun, trying this out. Now we're talking about how we were anchoring the hands, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It went from 0 to 100 really fast. And I actually really appreciate that, because it's like, I don't want someone who's half in.
I know. Yeah. I know you didn't.
And you're all in, and I was like, whoa, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, I really struggle. I have like such ridiculously high goals. I've never achieved a goal ever. Because of that. And like, I think I'm already starting to formulate these goals for the summer that are very lofty. I'm not going to say unrealistic, but very lofty.
Wait, do you think it's a good or bad thing that you set really high goals that you've never achieved?
I don't know why you wouldn't, to be honest. Like some people, like sometimes Aaron will tell me like, oh, like Drew, you're in week 3 right now. Like I went home pissed off the other day, like a few weeks ago. She's like, Drew, you're in week 3. I'm like,
which practice was it?
I don't remember specifically, but because I've had a lot of these so far. I mean, even after Tuesday where I was getting pissed off on the,
Because you're going 9/4s.
yeah. And you're like, are you tired? I'm like, yeah, but not that tired. But yeah, she said to me like, oh, I just like, you're so hard on yourself. And like, I think if you just kind of like aren't as hard on yourself, you'll be a lot like happier. And I'm a happy person, but I'm like, why would I like sacrifice like this feeling of really deeply being alive and pursuing and digging and reaching for like, that was fine. Like, oh, that was good. I'm doing my best. Like, why? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I think there's value in enjoying the experience, but to me, that's part of it. Like, I think there isn't really a positive or a negative. It's just more like, what's the word? Maybe like like magnitude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really about like how positive or how negative. It's just about how much. And it's only like a measurement of how much.
Yeah. It's not black or white. It's how gray is it?
Yeah. Something like that. Like I wouldn't ever sacrifice an average that's slightly like on the scale of -1 to 1, I would never want to average 0.25 to avoid -1. I'm totally happy going -1 to 1 and experiencing all of that.
So like after you have a if you have a bad practice, then your mindset is let's keep working. It's not like, it's okay, like we're having fun here.
Oh yeah. And I'm really trying to do a better job this phase because there was a time where if I had a rough workout on a Thursday, I would already be prepping Monday by being very not that I'm ever not intentional, but like I'd already be thinking about Monday through Friday morning, Friday night, Saturday morning, all of Saturday, all of Sunday. I'm counting down to Monday to the start of the next week. Like,
wait, what about Friday and Saturday practice though?
I'm thinking about like I have to survive the rest of this week and get back on it and like get this train. I was a little bit too intense, I feel like, with having to be to get the train back on the tracks. A little bit too intense. Versus after Tuesday, it was not that bad, but like I have very high expectations. And I was like, you know what? It's fine, but I definitely need to do mobility. And I think that the anxiety part of it, I need to dial back, but the taking positive action part of it, I need to just continue.
Yeah.
I feel like I probably have a very, very strong belief in how much control I have over outcomes, more than I should. And that's something I should probably work on as well.
I have the same thing.
But again, why wouldn't you? Like if I have total delusional belief that I have control over outcomes, I would think that over a certain amount of time, I would tend toward more satisfaction with the outcomes. I might be dissatisfied with that it's not like 100% hit rate, but like it's closer than if I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen.
I can do.
Yeah. With all things, that's and sport is a little drop in the bucket of that, and you know that with business.
Yeah. For me, it's like someone else does something that maybe is not up to par, and I'm like, that's my fault. You know, I should have,
as a coach or
as a
parent?
as a coach, as a parent, as a husband, as a boss. If someone does something that is not up to par, I blame myself.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
You know, and it's like, I should have told them to do it like this, but then at the same time, you don't want to micromanage them. You want to give them the freedom to do and express and create work and coach how they want, or, you know, create how they want, but it's not quite up to the standard that we want it to be. So I should have, you know, done a better job of explaining to them what the expectation is. But it's this like you're saying, it's this weird, it's not black or white, you know. That I actually think that's where people, like ultra successful people, like they go to another level, is you get rewarded for your judgment. Like, how accurate is your judgment of how much do I micromanage versus let them have freedom? Like, if I can be very accurate in my judgment there, then you're going to win. But the people who have poor judgment, who are not accurate in their judgment, they don't succeed very well. Yeah.
And I think that a critical part of that is it must remain that analysis, that journey of figuring out the judgment, and then the action taken from that judgment must remain either internal or with like-minded people, because you cannot put that on people who don't do that.
No,
because
no.
there's nothing wrong with not doing that.
Yes. Yeah, because then it's like, well, then you should have told me, right? You kind of get that attitude from people,
or
and you have
like
to keep it to yourself.
I don't think like this. Like I one thing too is sometimes I'll get home and I'll start planning every minute between, you know, dinner and bedtime to maximize that efficiency so I can get the most in. And not everybody's like that. And like Aaron might say, Drew, like, I'm just trying to chill. Like, we don't have to like plan this by the minute almost.
Holy shit. You and I are pretty similar.
Yeah, I think so too. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Just like with listening to the way you perceive things. But yeah, and I think part of me has realized like, I'm not gonna, it'll take more energy for me to turn this off than it will to.
Yes.
It'll take more energy for me to change this than it will to recognize it, filter it, then proceed. I'd rather just recognize, filter, and proceed and deal with like the extra energy inside than totally change it.
Yes. But what I found is in the short term, it's fine. But what I found is in the long term, it's actually very energy consuming and you get burnt out.
From doing it?
Yeah. Like constantly trying to maximize ROI of your time. Like, okay, the thing is in the microwave for 1 minute. What can I do in 1 minute that is productive right now?
Yeah.
I'm going to clean the countertops.
Yes.
And do all the dishes within 1 minute. Like that's just, that's a silly example.
It's
but
something I do
that
daily.
is multiplied across everything within the business, within training.
Yeah.
And I think it helped me get, I don't want to say, I don't think I'm like super successful, but like I'm 31 and I feel like I've done a decent amount because I was able to think like this. But I actually read a quote on Instagram the other day. It was like, the person that got you to where you are will not be the same person that will get you to where you want to go next. And so one of the things, like I've talked about this ad nauseum, but like one of my goals this year is to work less, which has not happened. But because I think like trying to do the whole like do as much as you can within that 1 minute of the microwave thing, it's very exhausting to keep up for 6-7 years for a long time. And I think for this to last, if I want ASP to last 30 years, then I'm gonna have to change the way my mind works and the way I'm operating. Otherwise, I'm gonna burn out.
Yeah. I mean, because also I'm guessing that you kind of consider maybe 3 different options during that minute. Should I do this, or should I put that dish in the dishwasher, or should I do this? Like for me, I'll be like, I'm going to my bedroom. I'm going to grab a few things on the way. So that one stops at the coat rack. That one stops at the office.
Holy shit. Yeah, I do the same thing, bro.
But like that, but I'm like, should I stop at the office then come back? Because like how many hands, like
you're calculating.
I'm calculating.
And then it's exhausting.
It's exhausting, but like, I don't know if I want to like resist it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's more exhausting to say, just sit here.
I think it's one of those things you'll know in 10 years time. In 10 years time, you're like,
might be too late.
That was dumb.
Yeah, but like also, I've been where I have been giving myself grace is just like, you know, like how they call it like the stupid tax, or like if you just like the stupid tax, where like you have to, that's just the price you pay for doing something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like some of this is like the becoming yourself tax. I'm like, I'm not gonna be hard on myself, and what I have spent too much time overanalyzing if I'm doing the best thing for my own personal development.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something you'll never win. You'll never win that. You might win how do you spend the minute that the food's in the microwave, but you'll never win like, did I become the best version of myself today? Like you'll never fully win that. And so that's where I'm like,
hard.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm just going to wait until I'm going to be, in hindsight, I'll be able to reflect and say, I was
while
26.
we're here, we have to try all these things.
Yes,
to
exactly.
know. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
And so I'm not going to actively stop it. There's some day where I'm going to stop because I have to, and when that day comes, so be it. But I'm not going to actively try to on the route from here to 10 years, I'm not going to optimize that because I can't.
You cannot.
I can't.
Do you ever do this where it's like I need to chill so that I can be productive. So for the next 4 hours, I need to not do anything. And then you end up doing stuff you end up working in the time you're supposed to be chilling, and then you beat yourself up for not chilling, and you're like, I'm supposed to be chilling so that I can be productive. And it's just like this weird,
Yeah.
this weird cycle
Oh,
of like,
man.
you beat yourself up, and you know,
This is
for
super
not-
validating, I must say. Like this
For
is,
you.
yeah, to hear
Okay.
you say this, because I feel crazy and I'm okay with it. Like, I'm not like, what am I doing? But like, I'm like, it must be crazy for doing this. But like hearing you say that too makes me, yeah, it's very validating to hear. Where I'll say, I'm just going to chill and watch a YouTube video, but I'm going to choose one that I can listen to so I can fold clothes while I do it.
I don't have to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And but then you like, you're listening to it and you're like, wait, what was that point? I didn't learn
Yeah.
whatever thing that they're talking about. I didn't learn. I need to go back to
Yeah.
it. But wait, I just put this on so that I can just chill. What am I doing?
Yeah. And really, I'm like listening to a 30-minute deep dive on the state of the economy. I'm like, this is not relaxing at all. Like, I love it. It's something I'm very passionate about, truly,
Yeah.
but like, I just need to relax.
You need to chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That notebook right there, every day. Yeah, right there. So I've been doing that since ever since 2017, and it's like either the day before or the morning of, I have to fill it with to-dos.
You should show them.
Or should I just show?
Yeah.
So like, it's been a habit since 2017, but you like,
that's your to-do list.
it's my to-do list every single day.
I should have brought you my daily to-do list notebook.
Wow, we could have compared
Yeah.
our to-do lists.
Yeah.
But it's like, you can see every day must be filled, and I must complete it, or else I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, my issue is I put so much in and I'm like, this is going to be the most productive day ever.
Yeah.
And then
And then you don't do it.
the weight of that is heavy.
Yeah.
And then I go into the next day doing stuff from the day before.
Yeah.
I think I love to-do list books because I think that's like just about one of the purest forms of like, that's an object that is so Sean Cow,
Is it?
you know, like that's
Yeah.
what you've been doing every day for years.
Since
And-
2017.
yeah. And like, that's you. Like,
Yeah.
like a journal is very personal and
Yeah.
vulnerable, but like,
To-do. It's
That's
not even
you.
a journal. There's some journal stuff in there, but it's mostly,
that's what I'm saying. But like, what are you doing every single day?
yeah.
And what does that mean about you? I think like I finished I fully filled out a notebook that was my to-do list notebook, and like I treasure it as like myself embodied in an object. Like I think it's kind of interesting to see what you do every day.
It's also a curse though, because I heard Chris Williamson say this. I don't know if
Not
he
familiar.
does the Modern Wisdom podcast.
Oh, yeah.
He calls it productivity debt, which I like that term. But every morning you wake up and you reset. So you clear the to-do list, and then the next morning it's there again. And it's a debt that you must pay back before you can relax. So like I can't do shit for me that's enjoyable, fun, relaxing until every single thing on here is complete. And if it's like halfway, if half of the things are checked off, and I go enjoy myself by having a workout. This is something I'm actively working on. I go work out. The entire time I'm working out, I'm like, I should not be doing this. I feel so guilty. But actually that part, the working out part, I've actually overcame. I'm like, I'm fine with it.
Because that's
like,
productive.
I actually have to work out.
Yeah.
It's actually my job. But if I go, not that I would do this, but if I go watch a movie or watch a YouTube video, I'm like, I should not be doing this. This is
Yeah. It's just like
You
a
know?
guilt, and that weighs on you, and it compounds. Yeah, that debt.
Do you have systems within your to-do list that you use, or not really?
I've experimented with a lot of different systems. I've tried to.
I'm curious. I love, sorry, sidetrack, but
No, you're
I
good.
love notebooks. I love pens. I love backpacks, and I love operating systems that
Oh
help me
man, yeah.
optimize.
Yeah.
Like to purchase that backpack, I must have watched like 30 backpack review videos so I can know exactly, the system, and like,
Yeah.
I could put this there.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah.
I could be so productive by having that there.
Yeah. I do have systems right now because I'm driving more. Because I worked from home before I started this, and like that's an hour and 30 minutes at least a day that I don't have anymore. I've built a daily log structure. Like it's actually kind of codified in like it's called a JSON file. If you know anything about code,
I don't.
but like I'm basically just like voice talking in about a bunch of different topics in my life. It's not for my to-dos, it's more for tracking progress in different things so I don't lose track of everything I'm trying to do. So there's a swimming one. There's a
So you just speak into it.
yeah, to speak into it, and then it extrapolates it into the system that I understand that's structured. So I can, especially when like right now, like with swimming, like that's a huge thing. It's taking a lot of mental energy. If
Yeah.
I can kind of
Dump it out.
that's going to be really therapeutic for me to be able to know that it's still there, but like it doesn't come back until my car ride the next morning of like that over analysis part. I can like say, okay, now for this evening, I'm gonna do a lot of mobility because that was something I said I have to do now. But there's not going to be several hours of the evening where I'm like, there's like all the ramifications of everything that's going to happen with swimming now that I'm in this different body, this different age, this different training style, this different event. That stays in the voice memo daily log.
So AI is it AI?
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm just doing like a voice memo and then copy the transcript of that voice memo. It's kind of like free association. I'm just speaking out.
Yeah.
I know what I need to hit, but and then I copy that voice memo and it structures it for me. And
You forget about it.
yeah,
So what do you do with that?
it goes into a file. I keep in my Google Drive so I can access it anywhere.
Talk to me about I actually had this in my notes that I wanted to hit on. It's actually at the end, but I'll pull it up now. You used to do the daily stream of consciousness thing,
I still do it.
or you still do it?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So I don't remember how much I told you, but yeah, during COVID, I lost all of the structure that was keeping me like sane, I guess. I was going through a lot. I was just like really depressed. And then the one thing I had like during my sophomore year at Texas, it was a really tough year for me. And then at the one thing I had going for me mentally was NCAA's this year is going to be awesome. We have the best team we've ever had. All cylinders are firing. It was a good team, really, really good team. Now it's gone. Now I'm home. I flew home the very next day after it was announced. I'm like, I got to get out of here. And I'm just like a zombie. I'm like, oh God, like, what do I do? Like the very opposite of this, the furthest thing from this optimized version of myself that I am today.
Yeah.
Or at least the attempt of it. And I was laying in my bed all day one day, like probably 2 weeks in. My dad came in, he's like, hey buddy, how's it going? Like, you don't seem like yourself, like obviously. Like he was just like kind of like lightly like
Probing.
Yeah, probing. And I'm like, I like woke up. I'm like, ew, what am I doing? Oh my God. Like do I have any sort of like what am I doing with this? Like, you know, I'm alive, I'm healthy, I'm good. What am I sitting around for? So I was like, I'm going to just process what's going on in my head because I have not taken the time to do that. I've been avoiding it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to speak into my camera for 10 minutes. I'm going to talk about my goals. I'm going to talk about some good things that happened today. I had just learned about investing, and COVID was a really fun time to invest because everything was crazy.
Yeah.
How investing's going, and a few other things. I'm going to have to speak for 10 minutes. And if I think that I have nothing else to say, just force stuff out.
Just go.
Because there's definitely some in there. There's a lot in there in your brain. And also if something comes up that you like think, oh, I don't want to say that.
You have to say
You
it.
must say it. Because I realized I was so on guard to people around me during that time.
Were you publishing these?
No, this is
It's private.
100% private. And that was the point. It was a safe space for me to just think. The irony of it is that if it was really, truly safe, I would have just thought I wouldn't have recorded it. But that's a different thing. That's a later thing. But
Interesting.
yeah, it was like super ironic. Like, why was I recording it?
Yeah.
Like, what did I have to make it real?
What's behind that?
Yeah. But anyway, so I was like, I've been so on guard with everybody around me. I just want to, I'm being on guard with myself now, and I need to get over that. So I did it for 10 minutes that day, and it felt really good. And I swear the very next day, like, some friends that I like were like, oh man, I'm not even hanging out with anybody. Like, I'm just alone here. Like, they reached out, and I was like, I think there's something about this good energy I'm putting out that, like, I don't know, maybe it's coming back to me or something. Anyway, 6 years later,
6 years.
yeah, that was March of COVID is when it started. 6 years later, I have hundreds of them. hundreds. I mean, I want to say like, I don't know, thousands and thousands of minutes of just rambling to myself.
Did you do this partly because are you constantly thinking about the situation that you're in and like how you should craft your words? Oh, I shouldn't have said this. I should have said that.
Yeah.
Are you very...
Yeah. And like, I was a psychology major. I believe in therapy. I believe in journaling. And so that was something where, because I was so tired and overwhelmed, it started with, this is going to be my substitute for journaling right now. And I've always loved YouTube and blogging, all that stuff too. So I'm like, this would be a fun way to journal without having to sit down for 2 hours and write 12 pages by hand.
Yeah, it's easier.
Yeah, I can get out all the words. And also I can't think about how it's coming out. When you're journaling, it takes a long time to write by hand relative to just...
Right. Because you got to make sure the grammar is correct, the punctuation.
Yeah. And you're already thinking about how the next sentence is going to be structured so it makes sense to maybe your future self if you read it. And also, one of the promises to myself at that point, it wasn't even a promise. It was like, I just don't think I'm ever going to watch these ever again. But yeah, so, and it felt good. It felt good just to say it, and especially just to parcel it up and let it go. And then so the rest of the day, if I don't know, if I went for a longboard ride, I wasn't in my head thinking about all the things I wanted to make right in my life. I was just like,
because it was already out.
It was already completely out. And then once I stopped record, like I didn't think about it at all after that. And similar to just journaling. Like when you're journaling, you're kind of like, whew, shut the book.
Yeah.
Go on with the day. So yeah, I did that for 6 years.
Do you ever watch them back?
Yeah. I mean, in the past 2 weeks, in the past 2 months, I've started
watching
dissecting them. Yeah. And that's been wild.
It's crazy, huh?
And and when I kind of started to really piece it together and be like, what has happened to me? Like, it's kind of cool.
It is cool.
It's
you
really
see the transformation.
Yeah.
Because you watch back and you're like, oh, I know exactly what I was thinking here. I can tell from my body language that, oh, I was not confident here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The very first one, there was like smudges of dirt on my face. I'm not sure why. Like I just was like dirty, and like I kept looking over my shoulder because I'm like, is my sister gonna come in my room, or is my mom gonna come in my room? Like,
and no one knows that but you. But when you watch it, you're like, oh,
no, I'm saying it. I have to say it. That's a part of it too. I'm like, I hope nobody comes in here. Maybe I'm just insecure. Like, am I embarrassed? Like, that's part of it. Is like I have to like say these things out.
Yeah.
And like I can't filter. Why did they record it? I don't know. But it was very helpful for me in my life. And there was one point where I had to fully stop it because I was like, I think I'm creating an echo chamber for myself. And I'm much more comfortable being vulnerable here than with like my best friend. And I probably shouldn't do that. So there's one point where I'm like, I'm done. I took like a year off, and then I started back up just every once in a while. But like it was, I haven't done it daily since, but every once, like one of my most recent ones was on the way to the Monday practice, where I haven't missed a day since. Because I went that first Saturday, the next week I went on a Thursday, and then the next Monday was my first day, or I showed up on a Monday and I was like, I'm going. So that was one of my last ones. I'm like, that is a really cool, like I want to talk about this to myself.
Yeah.
And so celebrate. Yeah. And to celebrate this moment of overcoming, wow, actually, this isn't about what I think is like the point of, moving on from swimming. Like I actually just want to keep swimming, and I'm going to go back to practice, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to be brave and do it because I want to. And so like, it's also kind of like a moment of like recognizing my own experience.
What's going to be cool is when you watch that back in 2028 and you watch that and you go, whoa, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my thought. And I think there's something to this too. Have you noticed that like, have you seen that like successful people tend to have like videos of them way before they're successful? Like Genius by Kanye, the Kanye trilogy. It's a Netflix trilogy of I don't
know what you're talking about, but I know where you're trying to go.
He hired a guy to follow him around for like decades.
Yeah.
Well before he was famous. And like
Conor McGregor was kind of the same way.
Isn't that weird? And like you become the star. You feel like you have to succeed because you're like the star of this, like
your own show.
Yeah. Like obviously I didn't have somebody recording me, but like there's a part of me that wants to do my current self-justice when I get to like look back at myself in the future. Like I'm rooting for myself. Like when I record this in spring of 26, I'm rooting hard for August of 28 Drew. Whatever that person's doing, if that person's on his way to the Olympics, that'd be awesome. Who knows exactly what will happen, but I'm rooting for that person hard, and I always have been.
Yeah.
Maybe not always.
I think that's partly faith too, right? Like not in the religious sense, but just like knowing that it's gonna.
Yeah.
You know in your bones that it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
It's funny because when I started ASP in my parents' garage gym, I have this piece of plywood, this 2x4 plywood, and I had everyone sign it. Everyone who trained there sign it because I knew one day we were gonna open a gym. And I was like, one day I'm gonna frame this. It's actually not here. I should frame it.
I want to see it. Yeah.
I haven't framed it because a lot of the Sharpies just kind of like faded away, so you could barely see it. But I should bring it in. But I knew from the first like 3 clients that I trained in their garage gym, I was like, hey, can you sign this for me? Because I'm gonna put it in my gym one day.
I love that.
It's a little bit cocky, but like you almost have to. I think one part now that I'm realizing is I have pretty high faith. Like I know even when shit is going crazy, like I'm like, it'll end up working out. And I think that if you can have that and you can lean on that, it's very comforting. And I think that's partly why people tend to go to religion. I'm not religious, but I see the why it's so attractive.
100%.
You know,
Same.
it's like it's life is so hard, and so if you don't have something that you can fall back on and know that everything's going to be okay, because back in the day it was like there was no explanation for why these things were happening. There was no science to tell you, so you just had to like, it's going to be okay, God help me out, you know?
I think you know, if you're religious or not, like I don't know what the term would be for you if you're not religious, but like and I'm not either, but the feeling of God, like I've had a few friends and mentors say like God has a plan for you, and I'm not religious, but like I feel what that means.
I know what that means.
I don't know how to say it in my words.
Yes, I know.
But I'm like,
I know what you're talking about.
Thank you. There's no part of me that's like, okay. I'm like, yeah, 100%. So yeah, it's super cool. I love that you manifested that with the signing it. You're like, I'm gonna just start building the monument to right now.
I knew it was gonna happen. I just didn't know how long or how hard it was gonna be.
Yeah, or like exactly what the gym would look like, or like
I didn't know
the route it was gonna be and who was gonna be there. But yeah. I really admire that about you. Like I think I can see that in everything you do. And it's not cocky. You're very humble. You're so humble. Like I think that's a really incredible mixture of things that you have. Is you have this belief that allows you to pursue your potential very bravely, extremely bravely, but you also have the humbleness to say like, Drew, like on day 2, I think you asked me something about technique or something. This is before you knew I was, fully going to commit to anything. And you're like, I want to learn from you. Like because you have this humbleness and you're early in your journey, you know how far you want to go. You are absorbing from everywhere. And like the things you're learning from all of these people is incredible. And you're synthesizing it in your own way, in a way that I think is like really destined to like, discover some really valuable new knowledge.
I think it's because I'm like innately I'm pretty dumb. Like I'm not a very innately I'm not very intelligent, I think, and so I just try to leverage the skills of others. You know what I mean? Like
I wouldn't say that about you.
For example, like when it comes to swim technique, I don't really know what the best swim techniques are. Like I hear other people talk about swim technique, I'm like, oh, interesting. You're very confident in how you say
nobody
that.
knows
like,
though.
I'm like, I don't know. So like that's why I just kind of like, hey, you guys film each other and you guys figure it out because I don't know shit.
But I catch you when I'm speaking to somebody about an observation. You like your ears prick up and you listen. Like I don't think there's any part of you that's not inherently intelligent about swimming. I think that you're just very humble and real with the fact that nobody gets it. We're not meant to swim. It's so hard to predict how all of these vastly different organic shapes are going to move through a fluid. That's so hard to model and say this is correct. I'm
I
really
guess.
working on this idea of like correctness does not exist at this level. Correctness. Optimization exists, but
Yes,
correctness
does not,
is
for
not
sure.
is not a real thing at this level.
The way I've been trying to combat my quote unquote dumbassery for swim technique is it's funny when I watch, like when we film it at practice, right? And I watch it and I'm watching it at practice. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. But then I go home in an environment where I'm by myself, I'm chilling in the dark, and I just kind of watch I'm like, oh, that's weird. It's like the mindset that you're in or the mood that you're in affects how you're seeing technique. And so I actually prefer watching technique by myself, where I'm just chill, like there's no expectation, there's no pressure, and I just kind of watch it. And then I watch it with no expectation. I have to watch it with no expectation. I just watch it, and my eye will tell me, oh, I don't like that. Why don't I like that?
Just chase that thought.
Yeah.
Chase the impulses
Yeah.
until you get somewhere.
And a lot of the times I don't know why I don't like it. Like today, Santi was showing me something with his underwaters, and I was like, oh, I don't like that, but I don't know why. So I think I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna have him send it to me, and I'll probably watch it and be like, why don't I like that?
Yeah. No, I love that though. I really love that. And I think a lot of incredible minds in the sport are starting to come more from people that are not like inherently as experienced. Like it's like the turning of the guard, where we're not listening to people with 40 decades of experience, because that experience was likely built on standards that are very outdated.
Yeah.
The quote that Cam
said on the Night Swim podcast.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen that. What was the quote? Was it the Richard Feynman quote? He shared a quote on his Instagram post when he broke the world record about pursuing the unfashionable direction or going in the unfashionable direction or something like that. Okay. I don't know. It's an incredible quote from a legendary physicist, but he's one as well. Cam is as
Reagan,
you know.
do you think you can find that quote? Richard Feynman?
It's about the truth being lying in the unfashionable direction or something like that. But yeah, I think that this changing the guard comes from people like yourself not being afraid to look in the unfashionable direction. Like,
well, it's not even the unfashionable direction. It's just the direction that made the most sense to me.
which I will tell you is, according to many people, is very unfashionable to do. You know,
Okay. The chance is high that the truth lies in the fashionable direction, but on the off chance that it is in another direction, who will find it? Only someone who has sacrificed himself by teaching himself from a peculiar and unfashionable point of view, one that he may have to invent for himself.
You're doing that. I think we're all trying to do that. Cam certainly did it. Like he sacrificed it very well. He shared that quote. I don't know him, and I don't know what it means to him. But like to me, I read that, and I think a large part of that is why I was here. I'm like, maybe the truth for me is like 90% in the fashionable direction, but like there might be a little bit more truth in this unfashionable direction that I've never explored. And so,
but I don't like doing the unfashionable thing just because it's the unfashionable thing to do.
I don't think that it's about that. I think that it's about
Seeking
pursuing
truth.
everything and not actively avoiding the unfashionable.
Yeah.
Because like we know that 50K weeks works. It does.
It does. Yeah.
We know that threshold, aerobic, active, like all the things that we just know are the core elements of swimming works. I'm not going to say it doesn't work. It 100% works.
Yeah. We have evidence.
And arguably more evidence, more evidence than the way this training works.
Yes.
But like, what do we have to lose by,
trying this method?
By trying to build some evidence here?
Yeah. I also believe there's many ways to skin a cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you just have to try a bunch of things. I always tell people you have to observe your inputs and outputs. Like whatever input you put into the system, make sure you watch the output and remember the output. Because I think a lot of people, like, they just say, okay, we're going to do this training block. Let's try it out. And then they don't quite record or track or remember what happened and what came out of that as a result. And then you refine. I think I showed you on my Google sheet the other day of like how I track the race pace volumes. so I can see, oh, Calvin swam like shit here, but oh, Nat swam well here because I did this. And, you know, you just over time, over the next 3 years, ideally, you found this very honed in system for each athlete.
Yeah.
You know, so like maybe this season you swim like shit and that'll be a good thing because we're like, we can say, oh, let's not do that again next season.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I love that you think that way because that gives me a lot of peace. Eddie Reese famously has said that no one understands taper. And I think that's true because it's like a really big thing because there's so many curves converging.
Yes.
Yeah, there's so many variables that have to converge for a perfect taper. And he tells story like he remembers vividly perfect tapers from 30 years ago because there's so few. And I think that like building a system like you're doing is a very valid attempt to get closer to understanding it. Just because you have so much data.
At least understand the things that you can control. There's a lot of things that you don't have control as a coach, like what are your athletes eating, how much are they sleeping, like all that stuff I can't control, but I can control the race pace volumes.
Yeah.
And at least that I can have concrete evidence of how we did it and how we decide to move forward. And now we have AI, and so like we're gonna have I don't know if our interns know this yet, but I'm going to do an internship project where I want to build, and Santi was actually talking about this, build an AI database of everybody's, like everything that they've done and just have it in there. So I can easily, hey, what did Drew do on April 30th?
Oh, I'm building that. I'm building that for my own data. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not that special.
No, I think it's helpful. And obviously I think that what you'll be doing is looking at the patterns between between Drew's experience and Santi's experience and Calvin's experience and Santo's experience, like across a bunch of 50 frees, what were all the differences, and then what is the truth that lies between all these gaps. And
the principle,
and AI is good at, like, AI is not smart, but it's great at pattern recognition.
It is,
and that's what you need. Is kind of honing in via pattern recognition.
Yeah, a lot of like I work with my race data. It's kind of like Time Drop, but they send us back the report, and then I'm lazy. I don't want to like read through everything, so I just send it to Claude and I ask it, hey, what are the trends that you see? And then it spits out, the 35 to 45 meter time was actually different, and it's you just save time that way.
I think it's a really, really valuable tool, and I love that you're very intentional with. We were doing Zen and I were like, and Santo were experimenting with the ISO presses. Yeah. And I was like, we should do this. And you're like, but why? I'm like, because it's like a swim stroke. And you're like, okay, but then like, what next? Like, it's cool to track.
Oh,
but
it was the data thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And you're like, well, how do I actually use this data? What's the input to this output?
Yeah. Actually, I did kind of learn something that day though.
Oh yeah?
Because so Santo was like 260 Newtons or something like that. Mm-hmm. And Zen was like 150 Newtons. Mm-hmm. And we kind of knew this. Okay, so I actually have to backtrack a little bit to give context. So I believe like exercises are categorized into mechanically advantageous and mechanically disadvantageous movements. So for example, a row like this, it's mechanically advantageous. Like you can pull a lot of weight. Mm-hmm. Mechanically disadvantageous movements would be long lever movements where the weight is far away from you, right? And so like swimming is actually a mechanically disadvantageous
for sure.
Movement where you have to create surface area.
Yeah. And
so like a straight arm pull down, L-sits, front levers, they're all very, very mechanically disadvantageous. And so when Zen came in last September, he was doing pull-ups with like 150 pounds, but like he wasn't pulling a lot of water. So I hypothesized back in September, I was like, oh, I wonder if you're like weak in mechanically disadvantageous positions. If I were you, I would just train front levers and straight arm pull downs and do that kind of stuff. And I didn't really think, or maybe I did test his shoulder press, but I didn't like put more thought into it until that day when we tested, and he was 140 or 150 Newtons and Santo was like 260. I was like, whoa. Okay, so like my hypothesis of you need to train these disadvantageous positions was true. And so now I'm actually thinking in real time right now. I was like, maybe we should track the shoulder ISO-I, and then that gives me data into how much advantageous versus disadvantageous movements I program for somebody.
How do you, isn't everybody inherently worse at disadvantageous?
Yeah, of course.
So,
But it's relative. Like, for example, Santo's 260, Zen is 140.
I think, would you have to track it alongside a comparable advantageous movement?
Yes.
So like,
Yes.
maybe
because-
like, I don't know, here versus like some
no,
sort of
you
like,
just
I
take
don't
like
know.
the pull-up number. So for example, like if their max weighted pull-up is 20 pounds, then it's like, okay, that bucket's not even full yet. Don't even worry about this stuff yet. Just worry about getting your pull-up number up first.
Because Santo can't go as high as Sen in the pull up.
No.
Probably not even close.
Yeah. Well, because he has shoulder stuff going on.
But like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But he's so much better than Zen. And
Yeah, in that. So I was like, oh, interesting. Because Zen is doing like 70 kilo, 150 pound pull-ups. So I was like, okay, we don't need to make that stronger. That's strong enough.
Right. I've seen him break down I've seen him compensate to make something disadvantageous become slightly more advantageous. And then remember the straight arm pull downs, he was going a really heavy weight like this.
Oh, with his shoulders back, and you told him
and I said go like this, and it just gave way. And I
Yeah.
think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I like that breakdown. That's interesting.
This podcast did not go the way I thought it was going to go at all. Like I have notes right here, but I did not touch any of them so far.
How do you think it was going to go? Like, what was in your, like, overall, if you had to describe like your anticipation?
Like what we were talking about earlier, Drew must have looked at my notes because like you've only been here with us for maybe 4 weeks now.
This is week 5.
This
This is the start of the 5th full, or near the end of the 5th full week. So
this is the end of the 5th full week.
yeah. So like that first Saturday was like 7 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've been hanging out for that long.
Yeah.
But I still feel like we haven't had an because it's been kind of busy. We haven't had an opportunity to like sit down and like really talk. So I was going to say at the beginning of the podcast, I'm very excited to dive into like your story. And the plan for the podcast was to go over your story, like Carmel, Texas, ASU, which I guess we can get into now.
We can get into that, yeah. Because I feel like just like hitting a similar like a connection like the microwave and the optimize hitting that, I'm like, oh, I know, like you know what I'm saying.
That's
but
true.
like there's some of the other things that you were.
I am
anticipating.
curious, like what your experience at Texas was like, and what your experience at ASU was like.
That's a really.
Is that too broad?
I mean, yeah, a bit too broad.
What was Eddie like?
Oh man, my relationship with Eddie has been, and I don't know if he would know this. Actually, he doesn't know this, but it's been on opposite sides of the spectrum. I've experienced both sides.
Okay. When
he first offered me the spot on the team, I was so overjoyed. Actually, I think Eddie, I didn't give him enough credit. He definitely knows this. He's very, very wise, and he has seen a lot of people come through. He knows this. I'm going to take that back. When he first gave me the spot on the team, I was absolutely overjoyed. I took one trip. I took a fake commitment picture when I was a freshman in high school with a Texas shirt on, horns up, because I was like, I'm going to Texas.
If I'm gonna the manifestation thing.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah. I got a Texas shirt, and I was like, I was first starting to understand. I didn't know much about this, but I was like, oh, like you go to college for swimming. I didn't really know that. And when I got a Texas shirt from somebody as a gift, my uncle, I took a photo of it, and I was like, I'm going to go to Texas. And so when he offered me the spot, thrilled out of my mind, I show up, so ecstatic to be there, and so much respect for Eddie, so much respect for the dynasty, so much respect for everybody in the team. Like really, really felt a lot, like very lucky to be able to be a part of Texas. And then COVID happened, and the team dynamic changed dramatically, very dramatically. People had very different COVID experiences. I stayed home for the whole summer. I didn't return until late August. Some people stayed there and grinded in a very, very tough environment, like a crappy pool, bad chlorine air, 8K workouts. Like, we got to stay fit during COVID, so because everybody else is trying to stay fit, so we can't let anybody get ahead of us. And I spent the whole summer like hanging out on a lake, just like drinking beer and just like, oh, this is amazing, right? And I came back like, oh, I'm ready to work.
Yeah.
And I'd been working hard, like on a rowing machine, but like nothing like what these guys are putting in the pool at least. And it was a very divided team after that, and there was a lot of tension. We won NCAAs that year, but it was strange because there was like this awkward tension of people that were very excited to be there and people that were very tired from COVID. They were drained, and I don't blame them. It was hard. And then so I don't know if that tension in the team was the start of my tension with Eddie, but I started getting this feeling of like, I am not doing enough. Like, I have to be more, I have to do more. The pressure of like the Olympics was really tough. Because he believed in me so much, there were a few times where he believed in me to the point where I found it insulting, which is so strange to say, but like, I made the team in the Olympics. I got in 2021 after winning NCAAs that year. I got third in the 2 free. And then the next day, I was up all night texting Jake Mitchell, my Carmel teammate, and because he had just won or qualified in that time trial in the 400, and we're like, we're going to the Olympics. I show up the next day and like I have a terrible 100 free, and Eddie was pissed, and I was like, why are you pissed at me? I just made the Olympics, Eddie.
Yeah.
But like, he just believed in me, and he knew that I probably had more in the tank than what I gave in that 100 free. And so that was kind of the start of a tension. And then 2022, I can't, it's a long story obviously, but I would ask him like, Eddie, what are we doing in workout today? He'd be like, whatever you want. Like, what do you want to do today? And it would make me more and more and more angry. And you're supposed to be coaching me, but he was just too smart for that 22-year-old version of myself. And I have a lot of regret for that anger I had, because he was actively giving me what I think I needed at the time. And that was also coincidentally my best year ever, that 2022 season of summer of short course NCAAs in 22, and that summer in long course were both of my best times ever in almost all my events.
So you think there's a method to that madness?
Oh my God, completely. And I never recognized it when I was there. I didn't recognize it fully and appreciate it fully. And again, I don't blame myself.
Yeah.
That's the stupid tax coming into play. But I went home and I was like, I'm going to go home to Carmel where like every little thing is going to be meticulously planned. And I was close to my best times the next year, but like every passing year after Texas, when I went to Carmel, when I went to ASU, reflecting back on Eddie, I was like, I was too hard on him my senior year. I didn't know better. He knew. And I wish I hadn't been such a like brat 20-year-old. Yeah. But love Eddie. I really, really am thankful for him.
Did you ever call him and tell him that?
No, I haven't told him that. And I don't know how much, I wonder how he would take that.
Do you think he recognized that? Like that you were being a brat?
One of his gifts, he would rarely get mad, but there was a few times where he got very, very angry with me. Probably 2 or 3 times ever in my 4 years. And I'd feel really bad. And then like I'd like shuffle into practice the next day, and he acted like it never happened. Like he didn't take anything personally. And there were stories of Texas guys over the years laying into him in a bad way where I'm like, how could you do that to poor little Eddie? Like, how could you be so mean to him? But like, I think he just knew that this is elite sport. And especially like men get like super aggressive when they're in pain and pursuing something so intensely. Like you're in like the fight or flight mode where you can just get so mean and clueless. And I think that he was so wise to never stay mad for longer than 5 minutes. So I never had any of those outbursts on Eddie. I would like huff and puff and storm away, but I never said anything I regretted. I just regret how much I internally appreciated him. And obviously I've seen him plenty since, and I'm thrilled. It's not like there's any like weirdness. But Yeah, yeah. But I really appreciated that time, and each year I grow older, and I reflect on that time. I'm more thankful for it.
So when did you move to Arizona?
Fall of 23.
Okay.
So fall of 22, I moved to Carmel from Texas.
Okay.
Trained there for a year with Chris Plum, and then fall of 23, I moved to Arizona.
With
Bob.
that was with Bob. Mm-hmm. What was Bob like? We've both swam with Bob. I want to see if your experience was similar.
I'm sure it was somewhat similar. I think that he is. I don't know. I wonder what he would say about this. If he were to listen to me say this, what he would think. I think that he is really comfortable being himself and being vulnerable and open with like, I am who I am. Like, there were times where he'd get super angry in practice and he'd be like, whoa, I need to chill. And he would actively say that. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. And he would like recognize, like he'd tell us stories about times where he would have never done that with Michael. And like, I was like, wow, like you're just really like owning yourself here. And like, this is where you belong. And I think that he deserves all the hype that he gets as a coach. Incredible coach. I really, really respect the way he structures his workouts to be, like psychological warfare. Like it's like some of it's actively designed just to break you and to see if you've got what it takes. Like I feel like people in general rarely like have to like go in and think, can I survive this?
Yeah.
Like we just live really easy lives as modern humans.
Yeah.
But like there have been times where I had to really think like I'd start panicking and I think like legitimate drowning instincts were kicking in because my heart rate's 190. I'm doing seemingly infinite long course butterfly. I'm inhaling water and I'm panicking near tears. Like, why isn't he pulling me? And I'm like, oh, he wants me to quit.
Yeah.
He wants me to quit. And this one workout that's seared in my brain, he actually complimented me after the workout. It was I did terrible. Like by the end of it, I was doing sprint 50s fly.
What was the workout?
It was actually Carson. They just did it like 2 weeks ago at Texas. It's something like, I forget what the intervals are, but it's something like a 50 fly fast on 40, a 50 free easy on 50, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 4, 4, 5, and then up to 6 and then back down. So it's like 60 50s total, 30 of them fly fast long course. And on 40, oh my God, by the end of it, I'm going 37s max fly. So that's enough to breathe and then open turn and then sprint. And like, it was horrible. And then we finished the workout and he says like, that was unreasonable. That was an unreasonable ask. I'm aware that what I just made you do, and we would have team meetings after the end of every workout. And he goes, I am aware that was very unreasonable. But you know what else is unreasonable is the effing Paris Olympics. Drew is never going to have to do anything like a 2 fly. Like that set was not because Drew has to do a 2 fly, but he stepped up and he did it. And I almost started crying. I did later. I did later in the day. I was like telling the story. I'm like, and then he said this. And like, I was like, I get it. Like, you're just like, and I thought about that set walking out because I had a really bad panic attack before the finals in Paris. Really, really bad. And I thought about that set and it helped me. And it wasn't because it made me finish a 200 free better. It didn't help my last 50 to 2 free. I mean, maybe on some small level, but like it helped me walk out standing with confidence. Yeah. Yeah. So I have a lot of respect for Bob and I really appreciate my time with him. I wonder, you know, what it would have been like if I had, you know, gotten to know him a little bit more and he would have gotten to know me and we would have spent more time together, but there wasn't enough time and I needed to take a step back for myself. And because then after Paris was when I was done and we were talking about, you know,
because he left in 2024. Right?
Yeah.
April 24.
Yeah, is when he announced to leave. Yeah.
So then were you swimming with Herbie?
Oh, no, I was in an Airbnb the rest of the summer. In Austin.
Oh, you moved back to...
temporarily. Yeah. So like, yeah, he announced it in April. We were at the Olympic Training Center because we spent 3 months up there. And then he announced it. And between our prep meets and trials, we were in Airbnbs and moving out of our Phoenix houses.
Wow.
Chaotic.
Wild time.
It was a wild time. And I was numb. I was just like,
whatever.
Exactly right. Exactly. And then it all came out and it kind of got me later.
Yeah.
Because there was this one time where Erin was so sad. She was like, I can't believe this. Like, because it felt like everything was just perfect. Like we had a really cool crew
Yeah.
in Tempe. It was super cool. And a really rare moment of like a bunch of things converging, and it just felt great. And then Bob left, and it was like it just disintegrated.
Yeah.
And I could never blame Bob. I mean, it's a dream.
I've heard about him talk about that. Yeah, the whole thing.
It's like getting a seat in a Ferrari F1
Right,
car. Like
right.
you have to take it.
Yeah, I don't
you have
blame
to.
him.
But yeah, really, it was hard for a lot of people to like do this, and I was like trying to just like not let myself feel it. But then it, like, you know, it always comes back.
Yeah.
But I had to just get through, you know, that summer.
It ended up working out. Okay.
What do you mean?
Like you made the team.
Yeah.
Or did you want more?
I wanted so much more.
Okay.
It didn't work out.
Okay. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's all part of the plan.
Yeah. Did you train with Herbie at all?
I trained with, I mean, not really. I took like a few weeks off after Paris, and then I wanted to swim US Open in December. And so I swam 3 times a week with Herbie, just really like not taking it seriously, not taking it seriously, but like I knew that it was pure maintenance just so I could like honor contracts, and I wanted to finish it out casually and just experience swimming for the sake of swimming. And then US Open ended up being a really bittersweet feeling because I was like, oh, this was actually a really great experience. I haven't had an experience this good in a long time. And now it's done.
Because you weren't taking it so serious, and it was like, this is for fun.
Yeah. Like having conversations that I would have never had before, like at the pool. And my last race ever was a 100-yard free final on the last night of the meet. And this coach that was there with one swimmer, I forget what school they were from, was sitting next to me. And I was there by myself. They were there, just them two. And they're like, hey, no breath the first 25 of this 100. I'm like, why? They're like, who cares? Why not?
Just for fun.
And I ended up going way faster just because I was like, whatever, let's see what happens. And I'm like, oh, like, are you able to have like fun in swimming like this? I didn't know you could do this.
Do you think you can take segments of that and combine it with like some seriousness and then mold this new Drew Kibler that has experienced both sides of the spectrum of fun and seriousness, and then you make this incredible superhero?
Incredible superhero. I mean, that's the goal. I don't know though. I think if I had to say right now, I think yes. And I think it's not necessarily doing it both at the same time. I think it's taking that fun part and flipping that switch when things aren't perfect, and then taking the really intense aggressive part that's purely for me and flipping that switch when I want and need to dig deeper, and then kind of adjusting those levers as I move through challenges, and being aware enough and patient with myself enough to know, okay, this is a time where I need to not take myself seriously. I don't have to optimize. There's nothing to optimize. I just have to shrug this one off. I have to absolutely turn on the rage mode here and just rip, like, and just toggle
it's
that.
having extreme self-awareness.
Yeah.
You have to have extreme
self-awareness. And so I think that I'm getting better with my self-awareness. But to answer your question, I don't know yet, because I have to kind of put it into practice. Like I haven't done a meet yet. Like I'm
so stoked.
I'm stoked too. I'm really stoked too. But I felt parts of my old self come out for that first 50 we did, where I got my ASPA cut. I felt that. I'm like, I really have to get this cut.
No, wasn't Sid just made it, or Calvin just made it?
It was
up?
just a joke. It was a joke. But like, that's you know what that was?
What?
That was the expectations. I'm like, I have to. They need this, and I have to do this for them. Like, not like I didn't need that 23.5 A cut. Like in that, or I didn't even have time to ask myself if I needed it. And then midway through swimming, I was like, I'm gonna go 22.7, and then I touched it 23.4. I'm like, God, that was horrible. And that was practice number 3 in
23.4.
Yeah, that was my third workout in probably 10 months.
So for context, we should provide the context about the ASPA cut.
Yeah, I forgot we're having a podcast here. You're right. You just forget.
You forget. And time. What time is it? You have to go, Reagan, anytime.
No, I'm
You're good. Okay. For context, so the very first practice that Calvin and Marina did, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea where they were at. So I had them just do a 50 free time trial, and Calvin went 23.5. And so kind of jokingly, we said, "Hey, Drew, it's your third practice. You got to swim faster than Calvin." And then I think Sid or Calvin was like, "Yeah, the ASP cut is 23.5." And so that's the context.
So I got the A cut. Because they said if I don't get the A cut, I'm out.
You're off the team.
Yeah. So I was swimming to get the opportunity to choose if I even wanted to, pursue this. But so I'm glad I got the A cut.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're here, because
I'm happy to be here too.
I think you provide. Everyone brings something different, and you bring a little bit of a different energy, which is positive, encouraging, collaborative energy to the group.
Thank you.
And you're fast, which helps.
Thank you. Yeah, that's why I said too, like, I think it's going to be interesting to see how you as a coach experiment with utilizing all the personalities and all of the speed and all the competitive energy that exists here, because sometimes it's going to be
fiery.
Yeah, it's going to be like a runaway diesel engine, or just getting faster and faster. And you're like, whoa, I got to toggle. Like, I got to, manage this a little bit. But that's another thing about Bob. I never personally spoke with him about this, but like, that was something he was very good at, was making sure everybody had a place. So like, everybody was the best at something and the worst at something. And then there was a bunch of like pieces that fit together in a way where you never knew which combination was who was going to come out on top. Mostly Leon and everything. But like, there was always like, if it's backstroke, Hubie's going to fight back after the underwater. If it's freestyle, I'm going to set the tone at least for the first 100 of these 200s. And then, maybe Leon might pass me, or
so he would design the set in a way where somebody could potentially win.
Design the team. Like, I think.
Bring people in.
Yeah. And like the organization, he would be like, Drew, you are not leading this lane today. You are trying to do something that you're not ready to do. Go second. Like, Ilya, you're going here. Chase, you're going here. Like, it was like, and who was, a part of the team, who was doing which set. Yeah, it was a very particular management of a cocktail of who was leading and then second. It was really cool, actually, in hindsight.
I'm immediately like thinking, how do I do that? But from a set design perspective, I suppose we don't really have opportunities for stuff like that, because everything is like, just go 10 meters fast.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Or maybe I need to get creative.
Well, if you're doing, I don't really know everybody well enough yet to know the particulars of the way they execute, but like, make, Maxine chase Marina on starts. Make Marina chase Maxine on dead starts. Make me chase Zen on underwaters, but maybe we're both getting off pretty quick, and then Santi's chasing it. Like, it's like this thing where like everybody's kind of looking over the shoulder and ahead at the same time.
My initial knee-jerk reaction is I don't want to break anyone's confidence. You know what I mean? Like, say when you're chasing and they do get run down, and maybe this certain individual already struggles with confidence and they get run down, like, am I going to break down their confidence?
Well, that's knowing the person too. You know me. You don't have to worry about breaking my confidence.
Yeah.
You want to make sure I'm having to create my own confidence. Somebody else, you might want to be careful with their confidence.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I know who I would need to be. I won't say it, but
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. What can we talk about your 200 free race strategy?
Yeah.
I think you have a very particular 200 free race strategy.
Okay. Short or long?
Let's go long first and then short.
Well, I have adjusted it a lot over the years, and I know what I would have liked to have been able to successfully accomplish, and I know what always worked. And actually, it's not that different between short and long. I was listening to the Calvin podcast, and I was like, oh, that's very similar to me. I've done probably too many 200 frees where I knew how to win and not how to reach my potential. I knew I wanted to be an NCAA champion. And so I cruised the first 125, ripping walls, very minimal effort. And then at that time, it was the fastest, I believe, fastest second 100 ever. Because I ripped it. But I swam it like it was a wimp.
How did you?
It was like, I think I went 21:0, 22:9 for a 44:0. 44:0 is very slow for a 130.2.
That's
or no, I was a 44:1, and then I was a 23:06, 23:05 for a
6:0,
46:0 or 46:1 or something like that.
So you had a 2.1, right? 2.1 second difference between your first and second 100.
Yeah, maybe 2.0. That's pretty close, right?
Yeah, that's super close.
And when I was a kid, I was like 16, one of my first experiences of this was I swam this 200 free long course at junior nationals where, again, I just wanted to win. I cruised so easy. I was out in a 26.5, 28:0, 28:0, 26.4 my last 50 as a 16-year-old. And I won. I was like, that actually didn't even hurt as bad either. Like I didn't have any lactate built up to like fight off. Kind of like imagine like Bobby Fink, but like brought down to 200. Version. But what I always wanted to do was successfully take it out at my limits so that I could come home the way I wanted to without a full and total physical breakdown. Because I think I am geared towards sprinting. I'm a bigger guy. I'm a pretty explosive athlete, I would say. I'm getting more so explosive in terms of like raw strength.
Yeah. And
when I count on that, like if it goes away, it just, everything crumbles. Yeah. And so races where I've been more aggressive, when the lactate sets in, for example, Olympic trials, I go a 145, 5 or 6 in the semis, cruising. It's just Luke Hobson and I. We go 1-2 in the semi. We're like, just get to the final. We have raced each other many, many times. We knew how we were going to do it. Mm-hmm. We're friends. We're like, all right, let's just cruise this and go. It was a 145.6. My lactate level. Do you know much about lactate and all the levels and what they mean? I was an 8.0.
Very low.
At the highest.
Yeah.
The next day, I was extremely aggressive. Mm-hmm. I went 0.1 faster.
And you were probably like 17 millimoles.
It was like 15.6 right after. And then it probably peaked around 17 somewhere during my warm down. But to go 0.1 faster.
Yeah.
So, my 200 strategy probably needed more fine tuning because I knew how to win. And I knew in theory how to go at my limit, but I never successfully perfectly got there.
So you probably have like the world's fast, because you kind of use like a catch-up stroke, and then you go into a more shoulder-driven stroke in the last 50. That's the strategy, right?
Yeah.
I know because this was my 500 strategy. I would do the catch-up stroke for the first 425 yards, and then the last 75, I would switch to my 100 stroke.
Oh yeah. That's basically what I do. Yeah,
more gallopy.
I'd go from a and this isn't. I'm not saying this as like this is what I did. Yeah. Like this is what I did, unfortunately, and like it worked in some cases. It was what I did when I went 145.0, which is obviously a solid time. It's not how you go 144 low, 143 high, but it's how I went 145.0. 1.7 tempo, really, really, really slow, and then I dropped down to like 1.3 in the last 50.
Yeah. It's kind of what that's kind of what Bobby does. Sun Yang kind of did that too in his 1500.
Yeah.
When he dropped like a 25 on the last 50.
I think there's something to that. I think I was doing it a little bit more dramatically than I should have, in shifting gears too suddenly. I think if I were to have built the third 50 a little bit better so that it wasn't such a shock to my system, maybe. Yeah. And then maybe like started at 1.6 and then like by the end of the third 50 going 1.5 tempo and then like kind of ripping 1.4, 1.3. That might have been a little bit better. So it was like a middle ground, but
you're also actively changing the technique that you use.
Not intentionally.
No,
it just happens when I tempo up.
Oh, so when you're like, okay, I'm diving in, dolphin kick, I'm doing the 200 freestyle. I'm like, I'm using this technique the whole way.
Oh yeah, I'm never thinking about that.
Because I watched some of your races to kind of study you, and it looks like you're changing the technique.
Yeah, but it's interesting because I can see visually right now in my head my races, and you're completely right, completely not intentional.
Huh. Wow. I thought you were doing what I do. Because I'll use a catch-up stroke because I'm a wimp. When I do a 500,
it is a little wimpy.
yeah, I'll use it for 425 yards. I'm cruising, and then the last 75 I sprint.
I think it's a kick thing too. I think when you tempo up and you start kicking for the first time, because I also don't really kick for the first 150. Not legitimately, in the way I probably should, in the way that Bob would definitely say I should.
Yeah,
Which he's right. And Eddie. All of my coaches have said go out faster.
yeah.
And they're right, but it just never worked. Like
Yeah.
I know I need to, but I just never I never had a race where I'm like, that actually worth taking it out. It was like that was a brutal crash and burn. Once I get that back into master front end, that will be good.
Yeah.
Never got there.
Yeah, because you're also a pretty like muscular dude.
Yeah.
You're not like lean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could probably produce a ton of lactate.
yeah.
Like, what's the highest lactate you've ever seen?
Well, also keep in mind, I have always been training very heavy aerobic. So it's like, I'm not really primed. I'm not like a Ryan Held where I've seen him put up some crazy numbers. I've heard like lore about Jason Lezak's numbers, but, honestly, probably like a
20.
well, for me,
Uh-huh.
the highest I've ever seen is 15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know though, but like also I'm not doing the 50 and 100 the way I should and consistently enough to get good reads.
Yeah.
Highest I've ever seen have been after 200s.
How do you feel about the 50 now?
Well, I'm really excited because I, as a kid, was always a sprinter. Like you asked me this today, as a kid, like 12 and under, I was always the shortest events offered. And I enjoyed that. As most kids do. Like nobody actually wants to do anything longer than a 50. And then I think people just saw potential in my, I swear I'm not saying potential this often on purpose. Pursue potential.
There's subliminal messaging everywhere in this gym.
I think people saw, what I could achieve in the 200 free. And so I kind of started going longer, but I've always had a fast 50, always, no matter what my training's been. My training for the 500, 18.6, training for the 500 in high school, going 4:15, 19.3. Like I've always had a really fast 50. So, and as you've seen, really just from strength, not from technique and fine tuning details.
You don't really have a great 50 free technique yet.
Don't be sorry at all.
Yeah.
No, that's to me. I'm stoked to hear that. Like I don't want you to be like, wow, this is way better than I thought. I'll be like, well, how am I supposed to get to 21 low now?
No, it's like
Not that we're talking about 21 low already, but
there it is.
oh god, I let it slip.
Like your elbow's still dropping, the lat is still dumping a little bit.
Yeah, so I have a lot of room there, and I find a lot of peace in like biology functioning the way it should. And I think that in the 200 free, it's so much just like biology, physiology, and just math and like force. Like there's something really cool that like we can use the numbers to like figure out what the story is and get closer, versus like this vague, try this hard in the first 50, try this hard in the second, where it's like that's always a moving target. You're never going to actually like hit it perfectly. Whereas the 50, not the 100, the hundreds is close but not quite as distinct. The 50, it's the same effort the whole way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's really no strategy. Well, there's a little bit of strategy, but
what is that? I don't know.
The strategy for 50 free.
Yeah, like when you say there's a little bit of strategy,
like take the first 3 strokes easy. Like get into the stroke and then go.
well, we saw a little bit of that today. Then with trying
with your kicking.
Yeah,
with the underwater kicking.
And for context, there I'm rushing things as somebody who doesn't have, a very well calibrated 50 and sprinting set of mechanics, and so when I rush, I end up creating more drag and resistance than I should. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to figuring out like this is the way my body's optimized to move through the water at this speed, and that's the way it works.
Yeah.
That's satisfying.
I think there is speed and relaxation. If you watch Fred Bousquet's, I think it's 2009. Don't quote me on this. Maybe it's 2009 World Championships. It's an outdoor pool. I think it's the prelims or the semifinals. Fred goes all out for the first 35 and then shuts it down the last 15. But then I believe that ended up being his fastest time of the meet. and he like went all out in the finals and went slower. I don't quote me.
Happens so much though.
Yeah, but like there's
If that wasn't the one, then there's definitely tons of others like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you can see the stroke get actually nicer the last 15. Nicer, is that a word?
Yeah. Yeah.
In the last 15 because he's just relaxed.
Yeah. Part of the issue with the 2 free strategy we were speaking about earlier is like in 2022, watching my race back, I'm doing this like absolute drop the hammer, give it everything I got, where I'm like, basically I'm straight arming the last 10. And David Popovici his stroke never changes the whole 200. He just steady. And that includes flags in. He just stays the same rate. But he never drops. Whereas me, I'm like all over the place.
Do you change your stroke flags in?
I just like basically because I'm fully, every ounce of my being is soaked in lactate. And so I'm just trying to move. So that kind of becomes this thing where I'm wobbly and straight arm and probably everything's crumbling.
You always talk about your turns.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about your turn? You use it, you view it as a weapon of yours.
Yes.
And what are you doing and thinking about?
I view it as a weapon of mine because in the 500, for example, I'm basically doing a full speed max speed flip turn every time. But I'm just throwing my butt at the wall and then letting my legs whip around. So people think I'm like, but it's honestly a relatively relaxed butt throw. I'm relatively relaxed throwing my butt and then my feet are just whipping.
Do you think of your hamstrings at all?
Yeah. It's like
the tension you're using the tension of your hamstrings to snap into the wall.
Yeah, but like what you just did is like you found the floor with your foot. The wall's gonna be there. So I'm never looking for the wall with my foot. I'm just like flinging it around, and then it's there. And then
I kind of also start thinking of like start the push before you even touch the wall. Does that make sense? So like it
makes sense. I've
not
always thought the
touch the
opposite.
wall and then push. It's like I'm using my hamstring. There's tension, and I'm pre-striking, and then go. So it's like when you do pogos, you know, for dry land. To correctly do pogos, you kind of want to like pre-strike the ground before you strike the ground. So you're like thinking about strike. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense, but I've had the opposite approach for turns.
Interesting.
Because I found that when I'm pre-striking, there's more of a dispersion of energy.
Okay.
So
you're planting.
I'm not planting. It's so so instant, but like I'm there before I'm on the wall, have my footing before I'm pushing. I'm not saying that's the best, but like I've utilized my turns in.
I mean, obviously it's worked for you.
Yeah, I mean it's worked for me. I don't know if it very well could have worked better. Maybe pre-striking in that way.
Yeah, maybe it would have been 18-1, bro.
Maybe. I know. That was the one. Well, and my technique tends to break down at speed, so like my turns are weirdly probably slower. I'm getting my feet around slower in a 50 than I am in a 500.
Weird.
Yeah, because I'm kicking harder, and so I don't snap my butt over as well.
How many dudes in this world do you think have been sub 19 and also sub 410?
Only one until Ilya Karun.
He's been sub 410?
Yeah.
In the 5?
Yeah.
Ilya?
I'm like fairly certain.
I didn't know that.
I'm like really certain he's been sub 410.
Huh. Oh, also the Florida guy, no? Kieran?
Not flat start, no. He hasn't been sub 19 in the 50.
Can you look up Ilya Harun's 500 free time?
But yeah, I'm fairly certain that I was the only one for her until Ilya. I mean, if there is somebody, I'm not sure. And I wanted to do it in one meet. I got close to doing it in one meet, but the best I ever got was 408 and 19.0.
So it's just you and him?
Nobody
else?
I think so, yeah.
How about Marshawn?
He's never been flat start.
He's never done it. He's done it with a relay exchange.
Yeah, and he could. He's been a flat start 40.2. He could comfortably go 18. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's been in a 40.2. He could probably go 18, 4, 5.
Yeah, I could see
18.
that.
I mean, that's fast though.
Yeah,
that's fast. But
on a 200 free relay, he's done 200 free relays.
Yeah, and
he's been 18
mid.
Yeah. That's an elite group of people to be in. Like
Yeah,
sub
well,
410, sub 19.
it is, and I used to take a lot of pride in that, and then I realized, like, what does that get you?
Yeah.
Like, that's not. I didn't get a gold medal for that. They were like, here's your
The thing
550 random stat gold medal.
Me and Sid always joke, well, you can't go, because we both used to be really into Rubik's Cubes. So we would be like, well, I can swim a sub 5 minute 500 free and solve a Rubik's Cube under a minute and back squat 315. And we just keep adding the things that we can do. And
I like
can
that.
you do that?
Yeah.
And we would always joke about
No,
that.
like, I mean, they made, like, chess boxing.
Oh, yeah. I've
That's
seen
like the
that.
same like premise of like you can't be a tough guy and also smart.
And
they're
a
like,
nerd.
here's chess
Yeah.
boxing for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's cool, and I was proud of it. But I also realized that, I mean, they're both probably, I'm underperforming at both relative to my best if I'm able to do that. If I was really, I shouldn't be able to go an 18.6 if I was training for the 500 that year,
No.
and I certainly shouldn't be able to go a 408.
If you're training for
The
well,
50.
but you weren't when you were doing that. Were you training? You're training primarily for the 5, not the 50.
Yeah. I was trying, I mean, yeah, I was going up for the 5, but like obviously the 200 was the sweet spot. But we didn't make that final call until a few weeks out of NCs.
That's crazy.
And again, after we made that call, I went to Big 12s. I was a 19.4, and I'm like, that was a wrong call.
That would make me nervous as a coach.
It made me super. Well, that's the thing with Eddie's. He's like, well, you'll get there. Like he was always like, yeah,
Because
like,
right now, like in our entire preparation is for the 50 free. Like we decided that the 100 is we're just gonna put it on the back burner for now.
could you imagine if like 3 or 4 weeks out of trials,
You're
in
like, hey,
28
let's throw the 200 in there.
no, or yeah, or no, like, yeah, that one, and two, if I went if it was the 200, and if I go a 149, and you're like, don't worry, you'll hit that 145 in 3 weeks.
I'd be so nervous.
That's like low key. That 0.8 in a 50 is a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
huge.
In 3 weeks.
yeah. That's what you did.
Yeah.
But maybe the 50 free, you hadn't quite hit your, like you weren't even close to your potential. And
Yeah.
so that's why it was easier. Like you were just riding newbie gains.
Yeah.
Right.
And a shave. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't fully shaved for that
Yeah.
19.4.
Yeah,
Which
you're a pretty hairy dude.
yeah. So that's definitely something. But
Were you able to find it?
It says 421,
421.
that's not right.
but I don't think that's right.
Oh,
I can't
okay.
find anything else.
Huh.
I think he has. But anyway.
Yeah. Earlier, I was eavesdropping on you and Kenta. You were talking about ready rooms.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Well, so Kenta, our assistant coach, is studying. He was doing sports psych, and I was saying that I was asking him if he was interested in it, and I was like, because for a long time, I really didn't believe in sports psych, and I refused to do it.
And
And
then
then
you're a psych major.
I'm a psych major, but not a sports psych, and I was like, I'm not going to be above this and be like, I don't do sports psych.
Yeah.
Before the Olympics, I'm like, I'm going to pull out all the stops. And I did it. And it was a lot of really helpful things. And I think sports psych is only applicable if you're going really, really deep, or you already have, and then you're just kind of cleaning up the surface stuff. Like I was doing these, and it was really great work that I was doing with my sports psych, and I believe that it has a lot of value, but not for me, because when I was doing these ready room rehearsals and these walkout rehearsals and just kind of going through the anxiety I was feeling through all of it, I was actively being aware of just how deep it was and where it was coming from for real, which totally pulled me out of it. I'm like, I don't need to. This isn't about ready rooms for me. This is about personal things. This isn't about swimming for me. This is about me. And I'm sure a lot of athletes that have gone through really tough emotional experiences at high level meets could relate to that. Like the reactions that you have emotionally are not because you're afraid of a 50 free or a 200 free. Like it's because of something different. And so I think that sports psych is great, but like more like I think you have to do some deep work first. Or if you're a sports psych, if you're a psychologist for athletes and you kind of go there, but like I think that just doing stuff on the surface is, for me, it felt counterproductive.
Counterproductive.
Yeah. Because I was like, oh my God, I'm realizing like just how much I have to take care of. And like,
It gave you even more anxiety.
yeah, so much more. Because I was like, I'm figuring out like some of these techniques for the ready room, which is great. But like now all I'm thinking about is like my whole life and my childhood and all this stuff and like where this comes from. And so that's what I was speaking to Kenta about.
Have you found a solution on how to be ready for these ready rooms?
I mean, that was,
To not rehearse it.
well, I'm saying like I was making these realizations in Paris and I like retired. So I haven't really been in the ready room since the big one, you know, like, so, but I think my solution is to, a lot of my best races have come from Budapest coming out of COVID. I'm like, I don't really care. Like I just had COVID. Let's see what happens. Or senior year NCAAs that same year. I was really good friends with this kid from Denver that, super talented. He would thrive here. His name was Cam Mahanahy, super fast kid. He went in 18.6 as well. Extremely talented. And he had a good 4 years at Denver and then left for a year or something. And he's like, you know what? He like had done some like soul searching basically. He's like, I want to just do the hardest training I can possibly think of and see if I can survive it. I'm going to go to Texas for a year and get my master's in construction. And I really connected with him over the fact that like swimming is so silly. What is a yard?
Yeah.
3 feet. We're swimming back and forth for what? It's so
some arbitrary number.
Everything is arbitrary. And I was just sitting there, but like before that 50 free actually, being like, can you believe this doesn't matter? And like a freshman at Texas at the time he came up to me. He's like, Drew, you're having a really good meet. Like, how have you been handling this? Cause this is really hard. Like, freshman year at C's is brutal. I'm like, have you ever thought about this doesn't matter? he was like, and like I was sitting with Cam, he goes, dude, we're a bunch of sheep. And like the kid, like probably, bless his heart, like he did not want to hear that. He wanted to hear like, I just know we worked hard and we're ready to go. But I was like, it doesn't matter. But I want it. I want this thing that doesn't matter. And I'm okay with recognizing it doesn't matter, but I still want it because what else am I going to do? Like,
while we're here.
Yeah. Like
on this planet.
Yeah. Yeah. None of it. This is a little bit
like maybe it's a simulation, but at least let's try to make the most of this simulation.
Yeah. Like I never played video games, but like I've always thought that people that are really into gaming, they're fully aware that like they're not actually, pursuing this like kill death ratio or whatever it's called, or like these victory royale. Like they know that, but like in the moment they want it and they're going to go for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Not because it's real and it matters, but because they want to. And like I think that is what I, in my best ready room experiences, have recognized. Oh, here's my good friend from Australia. Love this guy. Let's chat. Congrats on this one last night. How you doing? Feeling sore? Yeah, same. Let's rip it.
Yeah.
And so it's happened by accident before, but I think I'm kind of getting to the point now where I've gone into the real world and I've taken a stab at like, the grind. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't matter as much as swimming doesn't matter. And I just want to do this. Yeah, exactly. But it does because I say so.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you say so. So here we are.
So when you make LA and you're in the ready room in LA and SoFi, how are you going to be in the ready room?
Oh man, this makes me emotional because I like barely got to enjoy Paris. I at the very last moment, walking to the ready room was the first moment where I was like, I'm with Carson and he's my best friend and we're like gonna go win a medal together. It's gonna happen. This is amazing.
Yeah.
And that lasted. That was like after years of lead up, and that was the final 10 minutes. That moment to a few minutes in the ready room to walking out to the race, like that was a few minutes. And I think my dream is to have this moment of like, this is awesome. This is really cool. I'm glad that the lights are bright. I'm glad that the speakers are shaking everything. Unlike a prior version of myself where I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
In Lucas Oil in 24, like this is a lot. Like I regret giving it power. I don't regret it. I did the best I could and I recognized that it was the best I could and I'm proud of myself for trying, but like in the future, in future ready rooms, I want to just enjoy that it's sick.
The beauty of it is that you already experienced what you don't want to experience. So
Plenty of that.
You know what not to.
Yeah.
Like I think once you like when people retire and then they come back, or even if they go coach and then they come back, they just have this new perspective on how their mindset should be, and I really wish that I could train properly, because because I did not have a good mindset with my own athletic career, but now that I've coached and seen so many different mindsets, I have so many tools now of like, oh, I tell this person this all the time, so I just have to tell that to myself.
Yeah.
And now I'm this like way more experienced version, and I wish I could apply it, because I think I know I can go way faster. I just don't have the time to do it. So
you're like the same age as Cam and Santo. Wait, Santo's 31, right?
Santo just turned 31. Yeah, we're both 31. Yeah.
Wow.
Cam is also 30 or 31. And so like you can kind of view it as like Pokemon. You fought all these battles and you gained all these XP points, and like how dangerous. That's pretty cool if you think about it, because now you have all these tools at your disposal to swim even faster.
Yeah. I had this feeling the other day, and I got so emotional like saying this to Aaron. I'm like, I'm a conqueror. I am. And not in a way where I'm like, self-affirmation, I can do anything I set my mind to. I'm like, I have conquered things.
You have
these massive, massive mountains that don't exist. They're in my head, but I've gone for it.
Yeah.
And that is a cool feeling. I think. I hope I'm gaining some XP points. I'm enjoying it too. Like I think that there's a joy in coming here every day. Like I really do. Like I get excited. I'm like, I just jump in the car. I'm like, oh my God, let's go. Like
I love that.
I'm excited. So yeah, no, it's been a great experience so far, and I'm just, there's many levels to this journey. 50 free time is one of the levels, but like there's a lot of different levels and a lot of different ways that I'm cherishing this experience already.
Yeah.
And we're very, very early into it.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it leads, exactly what it looks like, but
well, let's conquer things together. I just remember that my wife is supposed to switch cars with me.
Oh man.
So there's a chance she might be waiting out there. I put my phone in airplane mode, so like she could be texting. I don't know.
How long have we been going?
How long has it been?
Almost 2 hours.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. It's a time
crazy.
capsule in here.
Yeah. I just had a mini panic attack because I was like, oh shit, I'm supposed to switch cars with my wife. Can you leave us a question for our next guest?
Yes, I can. I actually have one ready.
For this?
I prepared for this because I knew you were going to ask.
Notes.
This is something that is very responsible for me being here today, because I asked myself this question and it gave me an answer that I was scared of. And I was like, oh man. So when you're watching a movie, and actually I got this from it might have been Chris Williamson, actually, his podcast.
Mm-hmm.
When you're watching a horror movie and somebody is like an idiot walking into the house where you as the audience member knows the killer is, and you're screaming, don't go in there, you idiot. Or like you're watching a romance movie. And
I've
you're
heard
like,
Chris say this. Yeah.
And you're watching a romance movie and you're like,
just get back with her.
yes, obviously he loves you.
Yeah.
Like, what? Turn around right now. She's still there. Like those things. If you were the star of your own movie, which is kind of ironic that we've talked a little bit about creating, your own movie around yourself. But if you were the star of your own movie, what is the audience screaming at you right now? What, to these spectators who have really like nothing to lose because you're a spectator in a movie, what is so obvious to them? And like 3 months ago, I heard that and I was like,
I heard that too.
I was like, oh.
Can you share your answer or no?
Yeah, I was doing a job that I was telling myself I really enjoyed, because it had a lot of room for improvement. I had a lot of room and potential to be successful, and I already was having some successes early. And I was like, see, like this is just the next arena for me. But I knew in my heart that I had some unfinished business with myself, and that was going to involve some time in swimming. I didn't know exactly what it was because I'd been intentionally removed from it. I knew I was going to return to swimming in some capacity at some point. I knew it all along. And most likely actively in the sport. But like I had to step back. And when I heard that, I'm like, you have business dreams that you want to pursue. You have swimming dreams you want to pursue. You have a lifestyle that you know is the way that you are happiest and most positive for those around you. Like, you have a stable job right now that's like an easy thing to tell people when they say, what do you do? And you're like, real estate development. Sounds great. And you're feeling some comfort in that, but like, you have to jump off. You have to go.
Yeah.
And that was horrifying because I was like, I didn't have like,
It was stable.
yeah, it was stable. I didn't have another thing lined up at all. But I also subconsciously, I knew I've been so unstable at many different points in my life, and I've always found my way through belief. I have a number of my own signed plaques, like metaphorically, like
Yeah.
And so I knew that it'll if you refuse to let any other option besides it working out be a thing, then it will. But yeah, that was scary.
You got to burn the boats.
Yeah. I had that actually as a flag in my room at
Burn the
2022 NCAA.
Nice.
Burn the shit. Yeah.
We have a lot in common.
Do you have that flag as well?
No, but I think like that. Like,
Do you have a moment? I hope it truly seems like this, and especially hearing that you've been like this since you were a child in terms of your obsession over performance. But so I don't think that the audience is screaming something at you right now, at least in the world that I see, that you need to do. But like, do you have a moment in your life where you were like, I need to just, was it this? Was there a moment where you had like an opportunity to do something just like traditional and then you're like, I got to really risk it to go for this?
no, because this was always part of the plan.
I really admire that.
This was the path. I knew I was going to build a gym. I didn't know I was going to have a pro team.
You have a hell of a pro team.
That part I didn't know.
You have a crazy pro team.
That was not in my bingo cards last year. It just kind of happened.
That's insane.
And there's still days I'm like, are you sure you want to swim with me? Like, are you sure? Like, this is weird.
Everybody here is so bought in.
You guys
So
are in the
bought in.
wrong place. You should not be here. You should not be here. Like, there are days, there are many days I think that. But I am grateful that you guys are here and that you guys put your trust into me.
I'm grateful that you have those thoughts because it makes you a really, really good coach.
Yeah.
Because you don't just let that be like, I shouldn't be here.
No, I live scared. I live with this imposter syndrome.
You have the thought in your head and you're like, so why am I here? I got to make myself earn it. And I think that we all have that.
Yeah.
I'm part of me is like, dude, like you're back at swimming.
Why am I training for the 50?
Yeah, I think we all have it. So anyway, I know you had to switch out cars, but we can go all day. But
Yeah, we could go all day. I was just thinking about like, what would the audience be screaming to me? And I think it's hang out with your kids more. That's a big one. So maybe I should go do that.
I wonder if that's you. Yeah, I wonder if I was watching your life, what I would be screaming, if I would be screaming that. Because we've spoken about this before, and I also know that you have really high expectations for yourself. And I'm sure that you're doing, a really good job by a lot of people's parenting standards. And I know that you have really high standards, but
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's the thing, right? It's like you're never satisfied with whatever you're doing.
You never know for sure.
Yeah.
Especially when you got to optimize every second. It's
Yeah,
true.
we could go forever.
All right. Well,
All right,
I
let's
appreciate
wrap it up. Yep. Thanks for being on. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.